Hey, Arie, thank you for joining again. Last time we spoke about the dairy and oils and fat markets, where we concluded that the markets are very firm, and I still see that those markets are very firm. Looking at S&P, S&P is even for feed and food at the same level, around 2,500 euro, and that they are at the same level, I think, is very extraordinary. Can you reflect on that?
You're right. This is quite a unique situation. For me, it's an indication that the supply is really tight. Production is a bit lagging behind if we compare it with the, let's say, the same period last year. And the fact that we see same prices for feed and food has to do with the fact that we are fully depending in feed on the fresh production, and that is why the prices are for food and feed the same. But looking back, the outlook for this year was for skim milk powder that the prices would increase gradually, and that is, yeah, the case at this moment.
Okay. And then if we look at whey, last time it was already more than 1,000 euro per metric ton, and that is still the case. Yeah? So we are looking at levels around 1,050 euros per metric ton. What is the outlook here?
Also here, the outlook is still firm. I have to start with China. China is more or less the engine if we look at the global world demand. China is rebuilding their pig herd, and if we look back to Q1, the dairy imports were phenomenal, and they were 75% higher than the same quarter last year, and this also counts for the whey. And also, if we look to the US, there we have hit the highest prices ever. Recalculating back to euros, we are then speaking about prices for whey around 1,300 euros per metric ton. So that is really, really high. So something to watch very closely is the situation in China. When will it persist? That is the big question. But for now, the outlook is still that the import for China will stay at a high level, meaning that also the whey will, let's say, will be high price for the coming months. That is still the outlook for the rest of this year. But also it's a fact that somewhere in the future we will get a turning point, but
Okay.
nobody knows when.
All right. And then finally, the oils and fats. What is going on there?
Looking at the stocks in the origin and the destination countries are quite low. Production was a bit disappointing if we look back the last couple of months. Demand is good worldwide, and so also here we see, and we have seen even prices for coconut up to $2,000 per metric ton. They are now coming back a bit. Also palm, but palm is also still high priced at $1,350 per metric ton. Outlook is here a bit lower. Okay. For the months to come. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, Arie. And then we speak next time.
All right. You're welcome.